What does the socialism and National Socialist movement in Chile mean? The MNS had tirelessly pointed out that their vision, in terms of being a socialist ideology, was diametrically differentiated from the Marxist ideas or the doctrines that advocated the collection of property based on the dictatorship of the proletariat. Jorge Gonzalez affirmed in 1934 that before this doctrinaire conception of socialism, fascism raised, in opposition, another more human idea, away from the purely speculative terrain in which they were placed in the accordance of the theories of Marx. Nazismo is placed on a clearly objective plane and in accordance with reality, affirmed El Jefe, meaning with regard to the issue of property that the Nazistas once considered imposing the idea of not recognizing private property, which the Nazistas concluded that that is impossible to ignore the issue of private property. For them, this factor of private property represented the cornerstone of the Western culture. So their denial meant the destruction of that one. In this line, Nazismo also dismantled the liberal concept of property, in which this is an essentially individual and private right, with no more limitations than that which can be imposed by other individuals in the exercise of the same right. Jorge Gonzalez, in the Nazista conception of the state, critiqued for the obtaining and preservation of property, liberalism only imposes the condition that it is acquired by legal means, without going into the social consequences of the appropriation thus obtained or imposed on the owner, other obligations than ordinary local police in satisfaction of the tax burdens that correspond. We could say that, within the liberal conception of property, this comes to constitute the booty of the struggle for life. The strongest conquer it for full enjoyment, and can make them do as she pleases. Within the fascist ideas held by the MNS at the beginning, the conception of property corresponds to that of an institution with essential social purposes, regulated by the state. The enjoyment that the individual makes his right to property does not constitute an end to itself, but only matters to the extent that it works in a way that it benefits society. Fascist socialism must be understood, then, as the affirmation of the primacy of society over the individual. In this idea, the figure of the state with fundamental directive, interference, and guidance in national activities, it is the state that is in charge of channeling and controlling the particular initiative with the aim of making it perform as much as possible according to general interest. It is he who must repress the degeneration and vileness of parasitic capitalism and keep money within its own healthy function as an instrument of progress. It is the state that owes protection to the worker and assistance to the destitute. In conclusion, the name of socialists, who had the MNS, clearly supported the idea of social function. The individual is not an isolated entity, but part of a national community that represents the objective to which the individual effort is directed, stimulated, and powered by the public owners. The individual will work for the betterment of the community. Corporatism and Nazismo. Nazismo does not deeply detail the application of the corporatist model, and if it did give certain guidelines, they were diffusely censored to a theoretical level. The corporatism, in any case, as a third position between liberalism and Marxism, captured as Christian Guerrera the attention of a large group in our country, as well took body in various publications, being the founder of the political school, and economics is inseparable transcendence. Guevara would state, from the Confederation of Production and Commerce to the Social League, through the National Socialist Movement of Chile, the Phalanx, and the groups of nationalist intellectuals and social Christian publicists. Irwin Robertson distinguishes two aspects in the ideas of corporatism of the MNS: one representative and one organizational. That is, on the one hand, a system of popular representation, and on the other hand, a system of organization of economic and social forces. According to the MNS, the corporations obeyed a vital need at the time. Quote, the production forces wish to be directly represented by genuine organizations before the state, because they estimate that only in this way they will be able to assert their interests. Unquote. In September 1938, the Chilean action, through an article written by Nazista Thomas Allende, delivered a very diffuse plan of corporative principles to which the movement aspired, following two steps: pre-corporate action and corporate action. Pre-corporate action. It was based on a previous education from the chair in the school years to the development of professional bodies, in which the future corporate state would give responsibility for the new model with which Nazismo aspired to be important. This imposition, it was said, was not planned to be done violently, but as a natural result of a new order, in which the political parties and the division of classes would not have a place. In addition, in Allende, Thomas Allende's book, Corporatist Principles, he would state, the MNS affirmed that it would not tolerate that the encouraging impulse given to the spirit of association be used by partisan aims, revolutionary aims, or attempts of union or class egoism. The Nazista state, while respecting the rights of association, would ensure the prosecution of the common good without allowing it to be postponed to the interests of groups. And then we have corporate action, which is dynamic, was to incorporate citizens into the economic and political life, not grouped in parties but in associations that had a purpose of their own, being determined for this purpose by the regulation of the Nazista state. This would be recognizing corporate associations as a natural character in society, both in the social economic order and in the political order.